They're just those things that we don't speak about, but the tension might be there. This video is going to get into a little of that. Greetings and welcome back to my channel, Spine Shine Goddess. Here at Spine Shine Goddess, we are encouraging Black women to speak and live their organic truth without permission or apologies. This video is titled 10 things that sisters need to pack for their Black girls trip. 10 things that you need to pack for your Black girls trip. Sisters are making all these exotic trips, they're traveling, living their best life, but there's some challenges when you travel with the Black women, and they're just those things that we don't speak about, but the tension might be there. This video is going to get into a little of that. Let's start in no particular order. Number one, share knowledge and connections. Don't keep them to yourself. You start researching what it is that you want to do on the trip and what things you're going to do. Some people don't share all the information because they want to reserve something special and unique for their particular photo op or their particular platform, social media. But share the information. If you're traveling as a group, then you're sharing all the knowledge and information that you find about that particular place you're going to. And don't hold out just so that you can go do your own little thing. But if it's something you want to do by yourself, then be open and real about that. Who's sharing friends? All friends may not get along. It may be one person that's putting the trip together. So if there's one person putting that trip together, you need to create an environment of community where everybody's getting along and they're not just pulling at the person who put the trip together. Build friendships where it's not catty and cliquish based on just their connection to the one person who put the trip together. Being able to share the friends. Honoring the commonalities and not having it become a clique. Not be a clique, but still share things in common and still get along in a group. Some different people in a group who maybe they share a similar job. Maybe they have similar eating habits. They have a certain thing they like to do. Sharing those differences without it becoming a clique, without it becoming like, oh, that's just what they do. They're going to go do their own thing. They can do their own thing, but still maybe come back to the group and share that particular experience where everybody is putting into experience of it as a whole, even though you don't share the entire experience together as one whole group because you like different things. It's just like going to dinner and tasting different things at the table. You buy this, I buy that, we sample and come together where it's not a clique. It's sharing the spotlight. You say I got a lot of share. Sharing the spotlight. People who are more vocal, some people more quiet, some people more outgoing. Being able again to balance. If you see somebody that's hogging the space, being able to bring out the things in the person who's afraid to try different things rather than all attention be on you because you're the person that does all these things. Really sharing that spotlight and bringing everybody into the fold. Dropping the bad bitch boss thing. Like it's a vacation, it's a girls trip. The whole alpha woman thing, you may be the boss at work, but you're not the boss on the trip. Let it go. You're not running it. Even if you're the person that put it together, you've allowed people to pitch in and embrace it. Here's your chance to relax. Respecting each other's differences. There are people who are gonna do different things. You're traveling together, but everybody is different. People in the large group who may not have anything in common with anybody. They're just different, just things that they don't do. Respecting those differences, not making fun of the differences, not highlighting the differences where they feel even more isolated. After all, they're on a girls trip. It's a time to connect. Name a few. Everybody in the group gets high, you got one that doesn't. Person who doesn't really like to party or go anywhere. They're the quiet type, but they're still on the trip. They're on a trip, they're having a good time. They're in fellowship with you. It may be the person who's more reserved when it comes to their body. Maybe they don't want to put on a bikini, whatever that is. Honoring those differences and still including them as part of the group. Finding a way to do that. They're on the trip. Rather than highlight the differences of those, let them do them. Everybody doesn't have to do the same thing, the same way, at the same exact time. Make a social media disclosure pact. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going there. Make a social media disclosure pact. Some people like to share everything on their trip as it's happening. Some people like to wait until they get home. Some people share certain things about their trip that may be different from somebody else's. I think you should discuss those things. If you're in a group, you know the world is small. We all share social platforms that are somehow connected, most of us. I think people need to discuss that. You don't need to hinder it, but you need to discuss it so that way you can decide if you're going to be in the group photo. It's all out in the open. So if these other people, they don't care at what particular time, you need not be pictured in those photos. Or you can take the picture with them and then just make sure that who's ever posting it doesn't include the pictures that have you in it. It has to be a coordinated effort. You decide a timeline, who's posting what's going to be posted. It sounds silly, I know, but it's the small things like that. Getting approval as to what things are posted, not just the time frame. There are sisters who may not be the size that they want to be by the time they get on the trip. They want to see what angles, just like you would be taking a selfie. You would take your time to take a selfie before you publish it and put it on your platform. Choose which photographs, if they're group photographs, that are going to go on there. Don't choose the shot that shows your best side and your best features and assets, and then you got somebody looking a hot mess, and now they're up there in a group picture when they feeling some kind of way about that. So discuss which pictures are going to be posted before you just post people's pictures, even though it's your best side. Most people do that. Is this a cool picture? Y'all like this one? Which one's our best picture? But if you're not considerate like that, you're the person I'm talking to. Take the time to get everybody's best angle and best shot before you publish something that just shows your best assets. We protect each other. We come together, we lead together. Even if everybody in the group isn't participating in a particular activity, if you are coupled up, you are coupled up. Whoever you meet along the way, they are an addition. They don't become the substitute. You are responsible for that other person. You're responsible for everybody in that group. Keeping things confidential. If you're on the trip together and you're doing things together and y'all know there's somebody in the group that may not get down with another person that's mutual friends with some folks in the group, sharing things that were discussed, or, not if you were gossiping necessarily, but that does happen. You get back home and people are gossiping and talking about what things happening. Accepting corrections without it becoming competitions. The person who's getting a little too drunk, the person who's being a little too friendly, the person who isn't being very cautious. That correction is not about competition. Sometimes we assume that somebody's hating them just because you're correcting them. Being able to correct without it being a competition. If you're out of town with a group of women and y'all both in a strange place, it's not time to be competitors. You definitely have to keep that close-knit, even if you're not feeling alike in each other. People in that community or that space or place that you're visiting needs to be able to detect any bad vibes among y'all. If you're not feeling somebody, y'all out at the club or wherever you may be, and it's observed that, they kind of got a little thing going, or where you go to venting to somebody that's totally new to you all's group about what's going on with some sisters that you're traveling with, that's a no. You don't know those, but you just met that person. People who have known you for years and all of a sudden they get mad at you and then they hook up with somebody else they just met, and now they want to share everything that was going wrong on the trip with a complete stranger. You don't even know that person. They could be setting you up to rob you. They know you got issues with somebody else, so they're not going to even be concerned about who's there to protect you. You get my point? So whatever issues you have with whoever is on that trip, you need to reserve those things for when y'all in a safe place back home to deal specifically with them. This isn't a complete list. These are just things that I'm speaking from experience and some things I've observed, that if we talk about them early enough at the beginning, we're doing all these things that look good, but it'd be a lot of drama happening behind the scenes. You got connections in a certain place, then you share those connections. Let the group know, hey, I know somebody is going to be doing this at that particular time where we're going, would y'all like to participate? If they don't want to participate, then that's fine. Sharing the knowledge of the things that you found out about that particular place, and not saving it and reserving it for your special photo op in social media. Sharing friends. If there's a group of you all and y'all all not cool, and there's just a few of you that get along, or there's just a few of you that know each other, somebody in that group, specifically the person who put the trip together, needs to be able to connect everybody and not just have everybody connected to them. If you're one person in that group that knows everybody, you need to know how to be able to help them to connect, to build some type of cordial relationship with each other, minus you. So it's not all about you. Sharing the friends, the friendship. honoring those things that other people have or certain women have in common without it becoming cliques, where it's just not, oh, it's just us. We just do us. We're not going to even worry about the rest of the people in the group because we got this in common. Whatever you're doing that's different, the two of you all, or three or however many, y'all go do that and then bring it back to the group. Share. It's like group work where we split up, different people do different things and they come back to the circle to share experience, where it doesn't become a clique where you now just disconnected to the group as a whole. Sharing the spotlight. If you know that there are different personalities, somebody that's more outgoing, somebody that, really grabs all the attention, being able to share that, noticing the person who's more quiet, bringing them into the group and not having it be where their light is dim because of somebody whose personality is bigger. Bring out things in them that maybe they didn't notice. If it's some things that they didn't do and you're all into whatever it is that you do and you're comfortable with that, bringing somebody new into that so that they can maybe find a new experience without hogging up all the spotlight because it's something you're good at while on the trip. Dropping the bad bitch boss. It's about balance, not about alphas. This is a time where you're all connecting. If you're a boss on your job, you're not about bossing the people. This isn't something that you're doing so that you can boss everybody else on the trip, so that you're running it. You're not a leader. It's different. You can be a leader, and a leader is going to bring everybody into the fold. A leader is going to be one that knows how to balance the energies of everybody in that group and not just be the one that is the boss of everybody. Respecting each other's differences, and that means respecting the people in the group who are different. They may not have anything in common with anybody, but everybody's going to respect that person's differences and still see them as a vital part of the trip. There's still something they can contribute without it being something everybody's making fun of, or making something a big deal just because they're doing something or not doing something that everybody else does. Make a social media disclosure pact where y'all decide right then what pictures are going to be taken, what pictures are when they're going to be posted. If you have a different timeline of when you like to share, making sure that you're okay with what's being posted if it's a group, in terms of what angles, what shots, treating it out of respect and not just because it's a good shot of you. It may not be a good shot of them. So planning that strategically sounds petty, I know, but I'm telling you, those be big issues. They seem small, but they become big. Protecting each other. Not becoming, angry on the trip, but if you do, because that's real if it happens, where you don't take that out and it's detected in a space that's strange to all of you. No one should be able to tell who's angry, who's mad. It's not time to deal with those issues. That's not a safe place. It's not the time appropriate place to show those differences. You can deal with that later. Keeping everything confidential. Whatever is shared, I'll share mutual friends, and you know that there's been conversations because you get close and connected, and you create a bond while you're on the trip. But yet you both share mutual friends. Being respectful of what things are shared. That's a big one. That is a huge one. Being confidential. Keeping what happened on that trip without it being messy. Whatever you need to deal with that happened on the trip, rather than taking it to everybody else, take it to the people that were on the trip with you. Accepting correction without competition. Really seeing it as this is caution, this is correction, this is critique out of love. It's not to compete. It's not because we're trying to take your shine, anything from you, but this is just to keep the whole group safe. I hope that touches on something that's helpful. Some of you, praises to you, kudos to you if those are things that you don't even need to pack or need to be told to pack because it's on auto for you. The list, I'm sure there may be others. I'm curious to know what are the things that you would suggest be packed on a Black girl's trip. What things? What did I miss? What did I not cover? I hope they're helpful to you. Thanks again for joining my channel. Again, thank you to all those who are subscribing and who are watching. I appreciate you so much. It does not go unnoticed. Like, dislike, share, comment, and I will see you on the next video. Be peace. But if you need to be war, be that too. Peace.